Hi everyone, so let's have our discussion further. The topic that we are going to do right now is about everything that you need to, of course, from the GS perspective, not something which we'll be doing in advance, from the point of view of GS. So, everything that you need to know about the right to property, and once we'll cover the further topics, you will understand what is the significance of covering this right for our syllabus. Now, firstly, under the Constitution of India, as you know that we do it in kind of question answer format. So, firstly, we'll have to understand that what has been the history of this right to property. ठीक है, history of right to property under the Constitution of India. So, present stand is something different. Present stand we'll do in some point of time. But earlier, अगर आप बात करो जब ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना, सो जो 1949 का हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन था, अंडर दैट यू हैव टू बेसिकली कवर टू मेजर आर्टिकल्स दैट डेल्ट विथ राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी विच आर नाउ नॉट द पार्ट, बट ठीक है तभी थे तो हम करेंगे. आर्टिकल 31, ठीक है. वन इज आर्टिकल 19(1)(f) एंड आर्टिकल 31. सबसे पहले यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट अंडर द ओरिजिनल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी वॉज अ फंडामेंटल राइट. ठीक है, दिस इज द की पॉइंट दैट यू हैव टू remember. So it was a fundamental right under article 19(1)(f) and article 31. What these articles used to convey? Firstly, यहाँ पे जो बात हो रही है इस आर्टिकल में, firstly this article is guaranteeing the right of property to the citizens, not to all the persons but to the citizens. Here in this case it is being guaranteed to the persons, so they can be citizens also and non-citizens also. Now here the citizens, they are guaranteed the right to, what are the rights that they get, and they get it as a guarantee. Firstly, to acquire any property. Of course it has to be by the lawful means, like inherit कर लिया, earning कर ली, कैसे भी, but lawful means. So acquire property, hold property, अपना मान के hold it as the own property, and to dispose if they want to sell the property or give it to somebody else, rent it, whatever. So dispose it freely. ठीक है, they have to take care that all these rights were guaranteed to the citizens and they could either acquire, hold or dispose the property. Of course there were certain reasonable restrictions. Reasonable restrictions are separate topic, हम आगे भी करेंगे, but यहाँ पर के लिए you just understand it would mean that they will have certain restrictions which will be reasonable. What kind of restrictions? फॉर एग्जाम्पल इट विल बी अबाउट कि कुछ भी जो पब्लिक वेलफेयर के अगेंस्ट में जाएगा, इफ समथिंग विल गो अगेंस्ट पब्लिक वेलफेयर, देन दैट विल नॉट कंसिडर्ड अंडर दिस राइट. ठीक है, सी द राइट्स दैट वी गेट ऑफकोर्स आर फॉर अस, बट वी डू हैव द रीजनेबल रेस्ट्रिक्शंस, स्पेशली अंडर आर्टिकल 19 वी हैव सर्टेन रेस्ट्रिक्शंस दैट विल कवर, जो कि हमको ये बताता है कि यू हैव द राइट्स बट यू कैन नॉट टेक इट फॉर ग्रांटेड दैट यू कैन डू एनीथिंग विथ इट. So you will always have certain restrictions which will be reasonably valid. So here the case was that anything against public welfare will not be considered into consideration. And of course ये ध्यान रखना है कि if state is doing something to protect the interests of any scheduled tribe, तो उस केस में भी restrictions लग सकते हैं. बस इस दोनों के अलावा जो है वो in other case it was all allowed. ठीक है, for the citizens to hold the property. Now when you talk about article 31 which was guaranteed to the persons, यहाँ पे दो तरीके से आर्टिकल दिए गए थे. सो 31(1) क्या कह रहा था to the citizens that here it was a guarantee that no person shall be deprived, so no deprivation, ठीक है, of property. Persons will not be deprived of their property except by authority of law. So if something is legally being done, authority of law, then it is allowed, but otherwise no deprivation. So actually the whole idea here was that they were getting a protection against the executive. Executive, यहाँ पे executive will mean your let's say police or government. Now you know what are the details of executive, so आपको problem नहीं होनी चाहिए. What will be your permanent executive and the political executive. So here you see कि पुलिस हो या गवर्नमेंट हो, उनके अगेंस्ट में आपको प्रोटेक्शन मिल रही है दैट दे विल नॉट स्नैच योर प्रॉपर्टी ऐसे ही, ठीक है, विदाउट एनी रीज़न. So they were getting the protection against executive, but not against legislature. Why? Because it is said that by authority of law, which means legislature can come up with certain law to take their property. So this was an issue. But executive ऐसे सरकार आके या पुलिस आके आपका authority snatch नहीं कर सकती है from your own property. The another article that was conveying about right to property was that if states want to acquire private property of an individual or they want to have the requisition. So basically it is about acquisition, which means totally taking the private property, or requisition, which means taking the property but for a temporary period. ठीक है. So if state wants to acquire, and this was of course all about the private property, so if state want to acquire or have requisition over anyone's property, there could be two conditions that it can do that. Firstly, they have to take care that this acquisition or requisition is only for the public purpose. This shouldn't be for their own use. ठीक है, कि कोई public purpose के लिए मान लीजिए कोई highway बनाना है or something like that, any other infrastructure related mandatory things are there. So for public purpose only they can take the property. Second was that whenever they will pass any such law, they will have to provide for payment. So if you're taking someone's property, you will have to pay an amount. Actually initially this term was compensation. So we will write payment of amount or compensation to the owner. Initially this term was compensation, therefore then further some issues came which I'll discuss with you. Then the term amount was used. So certain compensation they will have to give. Now what the Supreme Court did in this case was that Supreme Court decoded this term compensation, which was originally used, as the market value. कि जिस time पर, the time that you are acquiring or requisitioning the property of somebody, उस time पर उसका whatever is the market value, you pay the full amount as compensation. Now of course उस time पे India was just trying to develop itself. It was just recently became independent and all of that. So the point was that the government was definitely not willing to go ahead with that idea. ठीक है, so how the government changed the things, that we'll try to understand. So this was the history of right to property under the original constitution. In three ways the property was being dealt with. The next set of questions would be that now that this compensation had an issue, so changes related to compensation. What changes related to compensation were made because the government was now not willing to give the full amount of compensation. ठीक है, so the government had this one thing in power. What is that power? Always they can go against the judiciary, or let's say try to, not going against, but let's say try to answer in response to the judiciary's action. They can always come up with constitutional amendment acts, right? और उस टाइम वैसे भी majority थी, तो different amendment acts came, like 1st, 4th, 7th, 25th. all of these are some or the other related to the property, but हम इसमें से सिर्फ कुछ major ones ही करेंगे. Now through these amendments they came up with certain new articles in 31 only, 31A, 31B, 31C, ऐसे करके they came up with articles. Now what are these articles? वो है हमारा subject matter for the next class when we will discuss the 9th schedule that is related to that. But just understand that through these amendments they try to come up with certain changes and they wanted to modify and nullify the effects of the judgments of Supreme Court, and they wanted to protect themselves with these laws. तो overall अगर हम result समझने की बात करें कि what could be the net results of these amendments, तो हम कुछ major पे ही बात करेंगे, will not consider all of that. तो fourth amendment act से, fourth constitutional amendment act से what they said that कि even if the legislature was under this obligation by the constitution, because legislature was under this obligation by the constitution to pay the amount, they said that adequacy, इस वाले amendment से करके इन्होंने क्या बोल दिया that okay, the parliament is having the obligation to pay, I mean the legislature, but adequacy of compensation shall not be liable to be questioned. I will help you understand the meaning. In a court of law, what they said was that this you cannot question, this you cannot challenge in any court on the ground that we are not giving you the full amount. ठीक है, यहाँ पे तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट, सी constitution had not clarified anything, the only the word used was compensation, but Supreme Court in further judgments had clarified that it is meaning the full compensation and the market value of that property that was existing at that point of time. But here the parliament came up with this amendment act and they said that we, even if we do not pay you like the full value of property, you cannot question this in any court of law. Therefore adequacy of compensation, if it is adequate or not, you will not question this. ठीक है. However, the Supreme Court did not agree with this and they said that no, it means full value only, but that was not considered. ठीक है, तो ये अमेंडमेंट एक्ट से इन्होंने ये थोड़ा सा चेंज कर दिया. देन बिकॉज द सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेड दैट नो, वी डू नॉट अग्री and you have to pay the full compensation only, then again with 25th Amendment Act, the word compensation in Article 31(2) was substituted. You can see the entire tussle between legislature and judiciary in all of these examples. Substituted with the word amount. ठीक है, easily they said कि हम compensation word को अब amount से replace कर देंगे. And here they said कि now it can mean any amount, not exactly the market value. However, again in केशवानंद भारती के सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला कि आपको एक फिक्स्ड अमाउंट ही देना होगा और आपको पहले से उसको डिटरमाइन करना होगा. पर ठीक है, अभी के लिए जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड कि दिस हैपेंड. अब इसके रिस्पॉन्स में एज आई सेड कि सर्टेन एक्सेप्शंस were introduced, exceptions to fundamental rights, this is the subject matter for the next class, were introduced by the government in the form of Article 31A, 31B and 31C. कि इतना टेंशन ही नहीं लेना है, let's not have this problem, let's introduce certain exceptions in these articles, जहाँ पे कि हम लोग कोई obligation ही नहीं रखेंगे, we will not have any obligation to pay the amount, any amount as compensation. ठीक है, तो इन्होंने कुछ ऐसे exceptions रख दिए. What are those exceptions? हम आगे देखेंगे. तो अब इसके आगे कहानी समझते हैं. सो दिस ऑल वॉज हैपनिंग ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ इंदिरा गांधी गवर्नमेंट. देन केम अनदर गवर्नमेंट, ठीक है, जिसने 44th अमेंडमेंट के थ्रू, तो इसको आप हेडिंग में बोल सकते हो दैट व्हाट इज़ द प्रेजेंट पोजीशन. ये तो पहले का पोजीशन था, हिस्टोरिकल कॉन्टेक्स्ट जो हमने समझ लिया, बट व्हाट इज़ द प्रेजेंट पोजीशन ऑफ दिस राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी. तो हुआ ये कि 44th अमेंडमेंट एक्ट, ठीक है, 1978 के थ्रू, व्हेन जनता गवर्नमेंट वाज इन पावर, तो यहाँ से इन्होंने क्या करा, इनको समझ में आने लगा दैट दिस इज़ बीइंग अ वेरी मेजर प्रॉब्लम. दे अबॉलिश्ड द राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी as fundamental right. Please be very focused on the words. I am not telling that the whole right to property is abolished. No, that it was a part of fundamental right, which means it was a part under part 3 of the constitution. They abolished it as a fundamental right. The right was not abolished, only it was now not considered as a fundamental right, but then they had to have the right somewhere else in the constitution, क्योंकि फंडामेंटल राइट्स से अंडर पार्ट 3 तो दे रिमूव्ड इट, एंड अंडर दिस ओनली व्हाट दे डिड, दे रिपील मतलब ख़त्म कर देते हैं जो आर्टिकल 19(1)(f) था, एंड आर्टिकल 31(1) was taken out of part 3 and made a separate article as article 300A under part 12 of the constitution. ठीक है, पार्ट 3 डील्स विद फंडामेंटल राइट्स और इसका हेडिंग दे दिया गया राइट टू, उसका हेडिंग था राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी, और इसके अंडर में एक नया आर्टिकल लगा के 300A दे नाउ स्टैब्लिश दिस राइट, और 19(1)(f) क्या था, ये वाला, इसको दिस वाज रिपील्ड ओनली, कंटिन्यूसली रिपील्ड, उसको पूरा ख़त्म कर दिया गया. Then what happened? So if you have to understand about the present status or position, so earlier status was the right to property was a fundamental right. What is the present status? Because it is given in the constitution, So it is a constitutional right, definitely. So it is a constitutional right. It is also a legal right because आपको लॉ से यहाँ पर अधिकार मिल रहे हैं. So it is legal right, but it is not a fundamental right. Now the question is that when we say that it is a legal right, what does it mean? What does it imply? So what could be considered as the implications of right to property being a legal right? What implications can we have from here that it is a legal right? Okay, first is that it can be regulated. कोई भी चीज़ अगर लॉ आपको अलाउ कर रहा है तो it can be regulated without a constitutional amendment act. So it will be regulated just like an ordinary law of parliament. ठीक है, अब you understand these concepts, there shouldn't be any problem. Another is that ये तो पहले भी जैसा चल रहा था, it protects private property against executive action but not against legislative action. ठीक है, legislative actions के तो against में नहीं है क्योंकि आप law से ही उसको help कर रहे हो. Third is now that it is not a fundamental right. Therefore, if there is any aggrieved person whose right to property has been taken, so any aggrieved person cannot go to Supreme Court to ask for remedy under Article 32. When you will do this article in fundamental right, you will come across a major point here that under this article, only for fundamental rights, if your fundamental rights are infringed, you can directly go to Supreme Court. But now that it is not a fundamental right, they can't go to Supreme Court under Article 32. So where they will go? They can go to High Court under Article 226 because this is not applicable only for fundamental rights but for other rights also. ठीक है, and then another implication is there is no guaranteed right to compensation. So if your property is acquired or requisitioning हो रही है by the state, there is no guaranteed right to compensation. But it was also understood that बिल्कुल ही compensation नहीं देना will be a problem. So they kept two exceptions. ठीक है, so there are two exceptions जहाँ पे की guarantee मिलती है of compensation. What are those two exceptions? Guarantee for compensation. One, it is said that if the state is acquiring, और ये भी आप fundamental rights में पढ़ोगे, ठीक है, Article 31 में, if the state is acquiring the property of a minority educational institution. Do not worry about what do you mean by minority educational institution. As I just said, जब हम fundamental rights करेंगे, ठीक है, all of these detail will come. अभी के लिए आप समझो the educational institutions which are managed, administered, etc. by a minority group. ठीक है, तो minority educational institution if the state is acquiring, they will have to give the full compensation. ठीक है, या फिर जो भी वो डिसाइड कर रहे होंगे adequate compensation, फुल और एडिक्वेट कॉम्पनसेशन उनको देना पड़ेगा. यहाँ से गारंटी है. और अनदर गारंटी इज आर्टिकल 31A से आता है दैट इफ द स्टेट एक्वायर्स द लैंड हेल्ड बाय अ पर्सन अंडर हिज पर्सनल कल्टिवेशन, मतलब इफ you are not renting any land to cultivate, it is your own under your own personal cultivation, and also the land is within the statutory ceiling limits, मतलब आपको जितना permittable है, ceiling is like having a limit on that, a permission limit on that कि इतना ही, this much only amount you can have or this much only land you can have, and statutory means by the force of law. So if state is acquiring any land which is held by the person under his personal cultivation, उसके खुद के personal cultivation में है, and the land is within the statutory ceiling limits also, that it is not crossing that limit, then also the state has to give the compensation. And also if the state is acquiring and minority educational institution, then also they will have to give the compensation. But uske alawa in any other case there is no guaranteed right to compensation. Why? Because right to property is no more a fundamental right now, it is a legal or a constitutional right. They can ask you in prelims also incorrect or incorrect statement. So this is how we go about the right to property. I hope you have understood. We have seen the history of right to property, 3 ways that were related to it, then how the changes related to compensation happened by different amendment acts. Okay, some measures we have covered, then certain exceptions were kept to be done in next class, that how the government tried to nullify the effects of the Supreme Court judgment, and then what is the present position, under which article, under which amendment it happened, which government did it, which new article is here, which new part is here. All of that factual questions you have to remember. And then what does it imply that it is a legal right, that is also given. And then what are the exceptions to that guarantee for compensation, what is it and where it is given. ठीक है, चलिए, I'll see you guys in the next video with the next topic. Take care till then. Thank you so much. Bye bye.